What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Kell Brook stops Amir Khan 6 rounds. Same round that Canelo stopped Amir Khan. This was a TKO versus Canelo when he knocked out Amir Khan. It was a flat-out KO. So that's the difference there. I want to give kind of some of my thoughts about the fight. Now, years of bad blood and buildup has finally met a halt because we got to decide a victor, and that's how boxing works. Some people will make excuses and say, oh, you know, guys weren't in their prime and stuff, but we got the fight when we got the fight. You see on the screen, this is the outcome. Shout out to Kell Brook. So realistically, I told Amir in my fight I was going to hit him with the chocolate right hand brownie, and I hope you're hungry. Kell Brook did his thing. Now, Amir Khan, when he was walking out, he looked kind of worried to me. He looked kind of like almost he hadn't fought in 3 years, and he looked like he hadn't fought in 3 years. He looked kind of spooked and a bit jittery. I think because this was a pretty high profile fight. You see the crowd came out, the UK, shout out to the UK crowd for turning out, and it was lit. There was a lot of bad blood. Kell Brook, to me, he really dominated. Amir Khan did not make good on the promises that he said. Post-fight, there was an interview where he talked to Sky Sports or whoever, and Amir Khan basically was saying he felt flat. He didn't feel it. Kell Brook had the performance. He put it all together. It was a rightful stoppage. Some people would say they want to see a little bit more, but truthfully, it looked like the end was near for Amir Khan. He was badly hurt in round 1, and round 1 was a round that I was easily giving to Amir Khan based on activity, but he completely lost the round when his legs did a funny dance and he was like this, and his legs clearly buckled and gave everybody the notion that he was hurt because he was hurt and he got rocked, therefore losing the round. It wasn't like a sensational round, but I thought he was doing the workmanlike rounds. And Kell Brook, I was doing a Boxingego watch party. My only complaint for Kell Brook in round 1, well, he was super economical, but that game plan proved to be the difference maker, and it worked for him. He stayed economical. Amir Khan still, to me, has like fast hands, but more of an amateurish style. Eesh, 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 where he's trying to eesh, eesh, and then move and then gallop out the way and things like that. And I never really seen a game plan. I really wanted to see more from Amir Khan. Losing is losing, but I thought I would see a bit more like preparation and a bit more game planning from Bomac, Team Crawford, and like they had really worked with him, because this looked like past Amir Khan, but at a worse level. Like Amir Khan, when he gets hurt, his mannerisms are too distinguishable, and that's something. It's too late now because he's at the back half of his career, but that's not good in boxing if you're hurt and you have no poker face. Like guys like Brandon Rios in their prime, they could take shots and then keep it trucking, and people don't really know how bad they're hurt and things like that. Guys like Amir Khan, when he's hurt, everybody in the world viewing at home, everybody in the audience watching on the Jumbotron, everybody watching on the ESPN Plus app, you can clearly see he has very distinguishable mannerisms. Like he'll start making that face, kind of like Manny Pacquiao, but Pacquiao got a chin, you know what I mean? But he'll start doing that pouty face, like nope. But really, he's showing you that was successful. You were successful in what you did. So I really didn't see a sound game plan from Amir Khan and Kell Brook. Kell Brook, I can't even say he fought a flawless fight, but per his opponent, I think he fought sharp. It worked. Everything he tried worked. I didn't really see that from Amir Khan. I don't think that Kell Brook, could do and get away with fighting exactly like that, because I wanted to see him jab more, and he was kind of lazy with the jab. But again, given who he was in with, he had him looking like a rock star. But against a guy like Jaron Ennis or even Virgil Ortiz, Conor Ben, I'm going to need to see more output. And there was just a clear disrespect for Kell Brook. Kell Brook was walking in the front door and not being made to pay. And Amir Khan was never, he seemed like jittery. Like I said, when he was walking out, he seemed jittery. When he was in the ring, he seemed frantic. He seemed like the absence of a solid foundational game plan, especially when he started getting hurt and buckled. It was to retreat, move, and clinch. And even in the clinch, I don't like Amir Khan's clinching because it's like a lazy clinch. When you look at an elite fighter like Floyd Mayweather, when Shane Mosley and rocked him, Floyd clinched him like, I'm holding on, bear hug. Like you hemp him up and they're not going anyway. And Shane Mosley's trying to free his arm, and that's buying you time to recover and stuff. Amir Khan was clinching, but it's not a solid clinch. So Kell Brook, you see how big he looked? He looked huge. Kell Brook is able to like wrestle and push him off. And that's why you have to have physical strength, not just punching power. Punching power is punching power, but you have physical strength. So somebody, if you're in a doorway and somebody's obstructing your exit out the doorway, where you can just push them back and you're physically strong. That's what fighters need to work on. They need to work on full physical strength, not just punching power and all that Ryan Garcia garage videos, but true physical strength where somebody can't just wrestle you around and ragdoll you. And I see too many, and sometimes I see it with guys. In this case, Amir Khan was smaller than Kell Brook, but I see it in boxing. Sometimes even the bigger guy is getting wrestled and ragdolled by the smaller guy. And that's something weird. And that's where you gotta work on your core and like physical strength. But all in all, Kell Brook, he really just did his thing. He hit him with the chocolate brownies. He had on his hand wraps that said, "I told you so." And he did tell us so. I also picked Kell Brook to win by stoppage. If you guys checked the channel, you heard my thoughts. So this was it played out almost exactly how I figured it in my mind. Ego Stradamus strikes again. But this, to me, was one of my easier predictions, in all honesty, to get right, because Kell Brook, he can box a bit. He has more power. And I just felt like truth be told, Kell Brook was fresher. He looked fresher. He looked in crazy shape. Look at his back. And then I just felt like his style is fresher. Like he had been beat before and stopped by Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, and stuff like that. But it took Errol Spence several rounds to stop him. Triple G took him, the halfway mark at a much higher weight division. Crawford stopped him, but Amir Khan, I don't think he has punching power quite like that. Like those guys, Triple G and Errol and Crawford, things like that. So it was just a different conundrum. Plus, Errol Spence, Triple G at that point, and Crawford, they never been through wars the same way as Amir Khan, where they're brutally knocked out, like the Canelo fight for Khan. So I just knew it was kind of an uphill battle, and Khan would have to fight the perfect fight, and he didn't. As soon as he got hurt, he kind of reverted back to old form, burned unnecessary energy. I didn't really hear any corner advice from Bomac that was like legendary in terms of what to do. He was like, you gotta move, and this guy's bigger than you, and you gotta strike first. But it's like, I think something deeper is needed in that situation, because Kell Brook was badly hurting every time he touched him, and he was like the Terminator. He was like a man determined. He was literally walking forward, sometimes occasionally jabbing, and he was just on fire. Like, he's just too much pressure. And Amir Khan, he just didn't look like he was in it. I can't tell another grown man what to do with their career. But from my 2 cents, and I don't always say this with fighters, but I think Amir Khan should probably call it a career, because it's like, where do you really go? This was the fight you needed to win after 10 years of bad blood. You lose this fight at home in the UK, where you guys are both from. You lose every round. You're badly rocked in round 1, finished off in round 6, just like the Canelo fight. I really don't know where he can go from here, unless it's like celebrity boxing, or I don't know, Jake Paul or that type of fights or whatever. And even Jake Paul, he's too big. He's too big for Amir Khan. That's real. So I don't really know where he goes from here. You look at the welterweight picture, it's still chock full and stacked of talent. Keith Thurman looked good. Guys like Mario Barrios have heart and have power and determination. So I don't see who Khan could beat. I don't even need to get into the Jerron Boots Ennis's and the Virgil Ortiz. So truthfully, I think Khan should have a long, hard think about what he wants to do in his career and really just decide it for himself. But I've seen what I needed to see from Khan, you know, some pretty good memories. And, you know, based on this performance, I can't really see elite level wins. I mean, even for Kell Brook, to be honest. Kell Brook did what he had to do against Khan and Khan's style and with Khan, but is that good enough to beat Conor Ben? Damn sure not good enough to beat Jerron Boots Ennis, things like that. You can't just walk down and not really have a jab. You can't rematch Errol and beat him the same fashion. So, you know, it is what it is. Some people are calling probably for both fighters to retire, but I'm not gonna overly suggest that for Kell Brook, because at the end of the day, he did his part and he won. So if he wants to take some more fights, that's on him. But as far as the loser, nobody wanted to be the loser of this particular fight, but we knew somebody had to lose, and it was Amir Khan by stoppage. So let's see what happens next. I think Khan should retire. Khan really to have a game plan. You have to really want to fight, you know, that's just what it is. You have to have the heart to want to carry on and continue fighting, especially when you've been knocked out. And he was on a 3-year layoff. This was a grudge match, bad blood, Oscar De La Hoya, Fernando Vargas type of fight. You don't want to be Vargas and lose to De La Hoya. You don't want to be Khan here and lose to Brook. This is worse than Danny Garcia and Canelo, because and the Crawford loss, none of those were like really personal. That's why you're seeing Amir Khan end up training in Bud Crawford's gym, but he probably won't train alongside Kell Brook and Dominic Ingle. So I don't really know where he goes from here. Let me know how I did in this video. Subscribe to the channel if you like the content. I got a lot more heat coming. You dig, and I'm out.
The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC, Bluetooth ready, with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation.
Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster.